Welcome back to another episode of In the Zone. I'm Kyle Weldon, Scouting Director for Prep Baseball Ohio. I'm here with Dylan Heffingler and Pete Whitmer. What's going on, guys?
Not much. Nice to be here.
What's up, fellas? Finally got some baseball weather. Excited for this one. Yeah.
And we got a big week coming up. Going into districts, ton of good matchups. Excited to see how everything shakes out the next couple of days. A bunch of D3, D4 games going off today, and then Division 1, Division 2 tomorrow.
Yeah, best time of the year, tournament time. Win in advance, lose and go home. Can't get much better than this, that's for sure.
Well, let's take a look. Let's get right into kind of this week and what we're looking forward to. Any big matchups you guys have circled on your calendars that you're excited to see the next couple of days?
Yeah, tonight there is a huge one. We got Highland versus Toronto in Division 4, two of the perennial powers in the state. Honestly, I kind of wish I would have made the 4-hour trip for myself to get there. A good 8-hour round trip, but it might have been worth it, no doubt about it. To put this matchup into perspective, both teams have been top 5 all year in D4. In 2023, these two faced off in the district semifinals as well. Highland winning 13-1 in 5 innings before going on to win the D4 state championship last year. In 2022, they faced off again in the district semifinals. Again, Highland put it to them in 5 innings. This time 10-0. They lost in the regional finals that year in 2022. In 2021. Toronto lost to Pete's boys over there at Shadyside in the district semifinals. Highland defeated Shadyside in the D3 district finals before losing to Lucasville in the regional finals that year. And then in 2019, Toronto beat Highland 4-0 in the district finals before going on to win the D4 state title for themselves. So as you can see, this matchup might determine who makes it to state or very well who wins state this year in D4. So a big one tonight over there out east. So wanted to give those guys a shout out.
Yeah. No, that's a thriller. Those stats help calm the heart rate as well for a little segment we got later here. So it makes me feel confident. I appreciate you throwing those out there.
I got you.
Yeah, a couple for me. Just quickly here, like tonight, and Kyle, I think it's a little bit different down in the Southwest District, whereas we have a lot of Division 2 tonight, which is kind of cool. They let those guys have their own night in Division 1 on another night, so it's kind of cool for the area for sure. But JA Bloom Carroll rematch of a district final last year is going on, and then Waterston and London, 2 top 6 seeds, I believe, going at it. Everywhere in the Central District for Division 2, since there's only one now, it's brutal, but the favorites have kind of been winning. So it's cool to see now that we're getting late into it to see if that remains true or if someone can pull the upset going forward there. But yeah, and then one more in Division 1. I know Olentangy Orange and Big Walnut are going tonight. So to see Weiss on the mound with BW should be a good one as well. So yeah, we could definitely see some good games at a couple divisions, which is good for Central Ohio.
Yeah, and that's what I love about this particular stage of the tournament is that you might see some upsets because guys are reset now, right? All the arms are fresh again, and
coming to a new week.
Oh yeah, all the ones are going, and everyone's got a guy. Everyone's got that bullet that on any given day could beat you.
Sure.
And, this stage of the tournament is really cool. We got one of the ones I'm looking forward to tomorrow is Kettering Fairmont and Vandalia Butler. I think that's going to be a great matchup.
Yeah.
Particularly excited for Thursday, and a couple things, especially down here in the Southwest. Things I'm keeping an eye on. I think a Lakota East and Moeller matchup could be likely on Thursday. If that's the case,
would that be would that be a final?
That'd be a district final on Thursday. And you'd probably see, I would assume, Noah Milburn, who's one of the top 27s in the state, against Kellen Kloss.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a cool matchup. I like the lefty that's not overwhelming velo.
Little unconventional.
little unconventional, can really spin it.
It's gonna fill it up. Yeah.
Lakota's offense has been playing well. I just think it'd be a really good game.
Yeah.
And the other one, I've got Vandalia Butler beating Kettering tomorrow. I think that's my pick for that game. In which case, I think they would line up with Loveland. Loveland plays Lakota West on Tuesday, and I assume we'll be throwing Arthur. And I think that game on Thursday between Butler and Loveland will be a really good matchup.
Yeah.
Some big ones this week, man.
Yeah. I mean, those are all. In whichever way those matchups fall, man, the Thursday's still going to be loaded. That's impressive.
I'm going to start seeing some lower seeded teams beat some higher seeded teams. I mean, I think it could happen.
Yeah.
All across the divisions this week.
Yep. Agreed.
Yes. Yeah. Speaking of that, we've had a majority of the favorites winning. So I'm going to give you a few tidbits on some tourney talk here.
Love it.
27 of the 28 teams that have been our teams of the week this year are still alive in the tournament. So shout out to those coaches for sending in their information, and shout out to myself and the crew for choosing some teams that went out to and started winning some tourney games after being teams of the week. All the final 4 teams from last year are still alive in D1 and D2. But in D3 and D4, there's been one team in each that have been knocked out. Harrison Central in D3 and St. Henry in D4. And then all of the programs that have won a state championship since 2018 are still alive, except for 2 teams. Chardon, who was the 2022 D2 champs, and New Albany, who was the 2021 D1 champs. So a lot of great programs are getting it done come tournament time, which makes it so district time we have the best matchups that we can ask for. So from a scouting perspective, this is what we're looking for this week. That's for sure.
Well, speaking of upsets, last week we did a little dark horse segment. I think we need to circle back and check to see how everyone did. Got a little graphic here we will throw up. Boys, I got slaughtered. No. I will defend myself a little bit. I went pretty dark with some of these picks.
100%.
You did.
Yeah. No doubt.
These are like, long shot dark horses. Now, Fairfield went 1-0 with Loveland into I think they went into extras, but
I believe it was extras.
Really good game. Which 1-0 game the day before, or the game before against Western Brown, when they faced Crawl, the pitching matchup, the good pitching matchups that we expected to see, we saw.
They were there, yeah.
Great.
Kyle, quick question: which was one of the 3 that lost a team that had to win the 3rd straight or lost? If I remember that from last week, you'd pick because they were playing for the 3rd time. Yeah. How did that go?
Well, so they would have had to have won their first game to get to that one.
So they didn't get to that rematch.
Yeah. Blanchester and Manchester both lost.
Gotcha. I would have loved to seen the result of those 2. Okay.
Now Arcanum's still in it, and they play West Lib, I think, tonight.
Okay.
So they should have Reagan Christ on the mound. So
right. That's you always got a shot with that.
Always.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Dylan, clean slate.
I mean.
Well, I do quite a bit of research. So I'm happy to see the 4 winners right there. No clue what they'll do this week in districts. They got some tough games ahead of them. That's for sure. But yeah, do you want me to go through my 4 real fast?
Yeah. Go ahead.
As I told Kyle earlier, I'm not happy with my choice in Division 1 because I don't see Anthony Wayne as a dark horse. But how we phrased it as not a top 2 seed, I saw that and I ran with it because Anthony Wayne's a 3 seed. But in general, nobody in Northwest Ohio sees Anthony Wayne as a dark horse. So I'm actually going to change that pick to a team that I talked about last week as well. That'll be St. Edward. So I'll still have a green box around my team, but I'm going to go with St. Edwards as my new dark horse. Again, I talked about him last week, so I'm really not flipping or anything crazy to a team that I haven't talked about, but I'm going to go St. Edward when you got Max McClellan and Henry Slabby on the bump, you can beat anybody, anytime, any day of the week. That's for sure. So yeah, I'm gonna go with them. But in Division 2, 3, and 4, good wins by all three of my teams here. Canfield picked up a 6-2 win in the sectional final. We're going to be in attendance tonight, not myself, but we got a scouting intern out there tonight as they face off against a very talented Hubbard team. So make sure you follow our scouting account on Twitter at Prep Base OH Scout. Definitely going to have lots and lots of action on there all throughout the week and throughout the rest of the spring. Hope to see you guys give it a follow. In D3, we got Wayne Trace. They had a 10-1 win in sectionals, which helped set up maybe the best district in the entire state, regardless of division. I was going to talk about it in the big matchups, but I saved it to talk about now. We got 4 of the top 10 teams in Division 3 all in one spot. Wayne Trace goes up against Liberty Benton in the semifinal matchup on one side, and the other side is Coldwater and Eastwood. Again, 4 talented teams, all top 10, all been basically right around top 10 all year. So going to be a great site to be at, that's for sure. Then Division 4, I'm going to be seeing Patrick Henry on Wednesday myself in the district that has Delphus St. John's and a guy that I'll be talking about here in a few minutes. I'm going up against Mac Heber, who's one of the top prospects in the 2026 class. And then on the other side will be a rematch of Lincoln View and Lipstick. But again, this Division 4 district that Patrick Henry's in is a gauntlet. So I don't know if we'll see 4 green boxes next week, but we'll see what happens.
Good stuff, Pete. We lost one.
We lost one. My guys,
we're still hitting though. We're still hitting.
Yeah, we're still surviving and advancing, man. That's the name of the game. It's the name of the game. And Liberty too. Liberty and London both are. Well, to be honest, all 3 of those guys all have huge matchups. Actually, Triway's getting ready. Yeah, they just had first pitch at 1:00. So
Triway's facing the back-to-back D3 state champs.
Yeah, but I mean they got to go down eventually, right? So Worcester Triway feels like a great thing to do on a Monday afternoon.
Why not?
Up in Medina, Ohio. Go take care of business, boys. And then another one, London tonight at Waterston will be fun. Obviously, Collins versus Kutika, I believe it's going to be for Waterston. And then Liberty versus Mount Vernon tomorrow. Should be a good one. Yeah, Mount Vernon's got a ton of dudes. We saw them earlier against Worcester. They won that league up there, which is not an easy thing to do. So yeah, should be a fun one. So we'll see how many green boxes we have next week this time, but should be a good week of those teams.
Pete, I'm gonna put you on the spot for a second, and this is gonna bleed into later another segment that we're gonna do. But who do you got in the Olentangy Liberty Mount Vernon matchup?
I mean, from just call it recency bias or whatever you want, but I saw the arm that's probably going to go again for Liberty in Parker Van Engelhoven last week. So if I was a betting man per se, if I was Brent Musburger on the call, I'd be hammering Liberty. But yeah, I mean that's like I said though, Mount Vernon they're dudes, and if I'm not sure if Snyder will go or Doherty or how they play that. But they're top 4 or 5 guys swinging as well, and they have as good a catcher as you're going to find at the high school level as well. So
yeah,
but if you're going to put me on the spot, I'd go Liberty just as is for sure.
I took Liberty as well. I kind of played out each Division 1 region kind of all the way through, and that's what I've got as well.
Right.
Yeah. Liberty's they've won 6 in a row, won 11 of the last 12. They're still on fire, that's for sure.
I just think anytime Parker is on the mound, you're gonna have trouble.
You're gonna have a real shot, man. I mean, yeah.
Which they would line up with Grove City. In the regional.
Or in the regional, yeah, in the regional, yeah.
So that could be a regional semifinal matchup.
Yep. Yeah, and that region too, and I mean, I just as a whole, there's just so many Central Ohio Division I teams that and I mean. The 4 districts is necessary, for sure. But once you get to region, man, and you have 4 Central District winners from this, all within 270 or just outside if it is Mount Vernon or
Yeah.
I mean, dude, you're talking big boy baseball right there. So that's when it gets really, really fun in Central Ohio for that level.
I was doing the math. There's a real shot you could see 3 Olentangy teams in that regional.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's very possible with
100, yeah.
Berlin, Orange, and Liberty.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Preseason wise, they were ranked. Where did I have them? Berlin was 7, Olentangy Liberty was 8, and Olentangy Orange was 9 preseason. So
that feels right. Just
Oh,
lump them all together if you
and then put Grove City at 10. So we'll just put all 4 right there, back to back to back to back. As in, I don't know which way it's going to go this year, but I know all 4 of these are very talented.
Yeah.
So we've done a lot of looking ahead. Let's take a second here. I asked you guys to pull together 2 or 3 top performances that you've seen so far in the postseason. You guys did a great job getting some information down on that. We've also got some video to cover. I think we'll just start with the kid from St. John's. All Dylan, right. Was that your pick in there?
Yeah, that was my pick. Cam Elwer, he's a stud basketball recruit, but also gets it done on the baseball diamond, that's for sure. This was the one, I don't know if you guys saw on Twitter. I myself missed this game. Every single sectional game was played at 5 p.m. For whatever reason, this one was played at 2, and I did not find out about it until late. But that said, the video that you're seeing up there right now is from a couple of weeks ago against one of the best teams in the state, Coldwater, which he shut them out. They had a 3-0 victory, if I remember right. But this past week, or this past game in the sectional final against a good Airsville team, Cam threw a no-hitter, no walks. A few guys got on via air, but 7 innings, 7 Ks without giving up a hit or walk. You can see the 12-6 there. The fastball is up to 84 is what I got a couple of weeks ago. A good 12-6 as I said a little bit ago. On the season so far, he has 35 innings pitched, 0 earned runs, 0.62 WHIP, and a 38-8 strikeout to walk ratio. And that being said, this is all being done while he's splitting time. He's not even playing baseball 100% of the time this spring. As I said before, he's a big time basketball recruit as well. I believe he averaged, don't quote me, but I believe 26 or 28 points per game this past year as a sophomore. He was up over 20 points a game as a freshman last year as well. Basketball might be his future, but as you guys can see, baseball is something that if he puts his mind to it, definitely could be a future for him as well. So big time performance by Cam last week. Shout out to Cam Elwer.
Pete, let's go ahead and we're going to pull up your first one now.
Copy.
We got to get that in there.
Mr. Gregory Kennedy with another absolutely dominating performance. I think it's 2 times now I've seen it. Both times have just been absolutely electric. Up to 92. The video speaks for itself just with the actions, right? Just the absolute looseness, the wiry, whippy arm, comes from the same slot on virtually everything. One thing too that really stood out just from a profile standpoint is the sliders at like 79, 83, which at the high school level is just virtually unheard of and almost unfair to hitters, especially in the right-hander box. So, love to see that again. Great kid, great family. So good to see them rolling that way. But it was 7 innings shutout, 12 Ks, 1 walk, which I think any high school, coach, you sign them up right now for that, right? The 12 Ks doesn't even have to be a thing, but the 1 walk, at the high school level, if you can keep guys off the bases, you're going to have a chance. And he did exactly that, in a dominating way. So, yeah, big shout out to Gregory.
Throw strikes and don't create offense for the other team.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, you're going to do really well.
Big.
Cool. All right. Dylan, go ahead and start talking about your next guy. I'll pull him up here.
Got it. My next guy, I was in attendance for this one. A nice southpaw out of Archbold, Zach Short. Really good looking junior right here, uncommitted junior. He had 12 punch outs on the day and a complete game win on the road as the underdog against Fairview. Fastball in the low to mid 80s. Actually touched 87 once in warm-ups. The slider plays. The changeup works all right. Doesn't use it too much in game, but the fastball slider work well off of each other. Athletic actions on the bump. Definitely a name to know. That's for sure. Loose actions. Competitor. That's for sure. I was in the dugout. Certainly heard him in the dugout a few times. He's got some competitive juices flowing in between innings when he's not on the bump. That's for sure. But yeah, a really good one. That's for sure.
Love that. Love to hear that. Cool. So my next one, kind of what Kyle alluded to earlier there with PVE, doing it all really for Liberty that night. He drove in there 2 runs as well. Had a 2 out, 2 strike, 2 RBI double. I mean, just ultra competitive on the mound as well in the box. Didn't give up. Drove in the run, flipped the curveball to right field. In the outing though on the mound, it was 7 innings shutout, 11 Ks. Again, just 1 walk. And charting pitches going back through it was right at a 70% strike clip on the night, which is really hard to do it as 16-year-old sophomore in a tournament game against Delaware County rivalry school. I mean, that's impressive stuff. And then to carry the velo, it was 89 or virtually 90-91 in the first, and was still 88-89 in the sixth. And then went a full dose of the slider in the seventh, which pretty well sat him down, to get those final 3 outs, made it look easy doing it. So yeah, just a great performance, great outing. And then, like I said, did it on the offensive end as well.
Good stuff.
PVE, doing PVE stuff.
Yep. Let's get on.
Yeah, number 1 pitcher in the state in his class, number 2 overall, and still, like I said, can swing it a little bit. He's still doing it.
Yeah.
Fun to see it.
He's trying to show that pitchers are athletes, that's for sure.
Everybody knows that.
Pitchers who rake.
All right, my last guy for this past week for standout performances is Drew Tajblik. Our guy Phil O'Shea went out to see the Lake product, and our former 2023 feature game alum this past week. Drew is one of the top athletes in the region. He's known for his bat and his glove. He's ranked 42nd, I believe. Yeah, 42nd overall in the state. He's a Toledo commit. Again, known for his bat and glove. But this spring, he's definitely matured on the mound. The velo's been ticking up each time we've seen him. I saw him earlier this year. He was 83, 85, touched the 86 a few times. This outing with nicer weather, warmer weather out there, he was 84, 86, touching 88. He's got a nice little 11.5 breaking ball to go with it, along with a mid-70s changeup, a true 3-pitch mix. He's been getting it done all year for one of the top teams in the state in Division III in Lake.
Good stuff.
Yep. Tremendous athlete. Good to see it on the mound.
Oh, just to say he had a shutout, 8 strikeouts, no walks. I forgot to say what his line was, but yeah, that was in a sectional final win as well. So shout out to Drew.
Shout out Drew. Cool. Yeah, and then the last one for me, going back to the Delaware County battle. I mean, this is a great arm. Really liked it, especially from an underclass standpoint. I put in my notes here too, along with dominating to hold that Patriots team that we're all so high on, right? As from a talent standpoint, to hold them to 2 runs was really intriguing. 6 innings, 10 Ks, 1 walk as well. I mean, just pounds the zone. And like I said, one thing that I put in my notes here, and it's something I'll stand on this business. I mean it. It's got to be one of the best breaking balls in the state from an underclass standpoint. I mean, the video's proof here. It's swing and miss. it's a lot of frozen feet in the batter's box, but it's also it's landing frequently and often in the zone. So really love the potential here. Flashing 88 twice early, big body, physical kid, and like I said, can absolutely spin it at any count. And I stand on that statement though as being one of the top breakers in the underclass in the state.
Love that. Extremely strong lower half right there. That's for sure.
Yep. Kind of a short little action too. I mean, I like it.
Yeah, that lower half is clean.
Yep.
Gets down the mound.
Yeah, and two, I believe in him. I think somewhere in the tweet I'd mentioned or somewhere, I think he was at like a 68% clip on strikes. So I mean, it's real deal, man. It's good to see that, and two, it's always interesting. It's once you get to the tournament, is a lot of those strike throwers, how are they going to respond? In that situation, and they both did. So good stuff, fellas. Good to see it.
Well, keep this is just to everybody listening. Keep sending us postseason performances, stat lines, anything that you think we should be aware of. Tag us, send it to us in our DMs. Let's make sure we get everybody's information in, so we can highlight everybody that's doing awesome stuff through the postseason. All right, new segment. Let's kind of keep on the prediction theme here through the postseason. We are going to pick 3 teams each, any division, doesn't matter, that we think are going to be in Canal Park here in a couple weeks. The teams that will win their regional and get to the state Final Four for their division. There are a lot of good teams still in this. A lot at every division.
This is tough.
This was. Dylan sent a text like an hour or 30 minutes before we got on. I was like, this is really, really hard.
Yeah.
And I think that speaks more to just the level of talent and the number of quality teams still in the tournament. So
100%.
These are picks. See how many of them hit. Obviously, there's a long way to go and many, many moments to still happen on the baseball field that could disrupt these. So
go
ahead and throw them up there. I'm going to start with mine. I'll go through all 3, and then Dylan, and then Pete. Look at that. Northwest Ohio team for you, Dylan.
There we go.
I've got 2 Division I picks and a Division II pick. My first Division I pick, Anthony Wayne. Again, told you I've got nightmares about these guys. 18. It's a really good team that still has a gauntlet to go through in Northwest Ohio. Dylan, you probably stayed away from this region in Division I just because of how strong the competition is up there in that region.
Yeah, I did not want to touch it. That's for sure. I didn't even click on it when we talked about this. I did not even contemplate doing this one. But Anthony Wayne is very talented and certainly could make that run for you.
So that's my first pick. My second pick, Olentangy Berlin. So, like I said, I played this all the way through. The regional that I would expect to happen is Liberty against Grove City and Berlin against Orange. So I do think we're going to see 4 Olentangy teams in that regional.
Wow.
I've got Liberty against Berlin in the regional final, with Berlin walking away from that one on top. So we'll see how that goes. Division II, same thing. I played out this region down here. I've got Baden against Indian Hill in the regional semi, and Kenton Ridge against Watterson. And then I think Baden and Kenton Ridge for the regional final, and I've got Baden walking away, heading to Canal Park. Quality teams, again, a lot of good arms, especially in this Division II regional here with Baden. A lot of good arms in that region, and I think we're going to see some electric games out of these guys.
In that region, for preseason rankings wise, I had Chaminade at number 1, Baden at 6, and Indian Hill at 9. So that should tell you right there. And then throw in CHCA at 8. So that tells you what type of talents down there in Division II. That's for sure.
Yeah, and then whoever wins the Central District, if it is Watterson or whoever, they're studs to get through that. So that Division II region is going to be loaded. And I like whoever comes out of that. They're gonna have a shot to hold up the gold trophy at the end of the year.
100%.
Well, they'll have certainly already accomplished a lot.
Right.
Getting out of that, and that's the same for any of these teams, but
Right.
Particularly that region, that division is really really strong.
Agreed.
100%.
All right, Dylan, I'm flipping to your picks here.
Got it. Yeah, I was the scaredy cat that stayed away from Division 1 and Division 2. I looked through plenty of those districts and regions, and I just couldn't do it. I couldn't pull the string on any of them. That's for sure. Way too many good teams. That being said, Division 3 and Division 4 is also loaded, so we'll see if any of these actually hit or not. So first up is my Division 3 pick to make it to state in Wheelersburg. They're down in the southeast, far away from where I'm at. I've never seen them play besides at state myself, but I've heard good things about them throughout the spring, over the past few years, and this year as well. They challenge themselves throughout the regular season out of conference. They always reach out to me, ask me, can we get in this high school classic, that high school classic? They want to face anybody. They're 22-2 on the year. Their 2 losses have come to a Division 1 and Division 2 team. But they got a gauntlet to get through. Zane Trace, Portsmouth, Barnesville, Minford, among some other teams. They would like to have a word with Wheelersburg before they get to Akron. So we'll see what happens with the Pirates down there in D3. Next up, we got Russia. Russia is a team that knows all about getting to state. They've been there multiple times over the past handful of years. But it's not going to be an easy one by any means. Again, this year never is. If they win their district, they'll more than likely have to face possibly Northmore, who's been ranked high all year. And then they'll have to face a fellow Southwest team, which could be Fort Loramie, that also has been ranked pretty high all year. But I really like Russia's draw, and they just know how to win come tournament time. They got it done in basketball as well, and all the players that were on the basketball team that made it to state are all on the baseball team as well. So they certainly know how to win, and we'll see if that happens again this year in D4. My last pick will be another Division 4 team in Minster. The Wildcats will have to get past 2 conference foes first. First up will be Marion Local. Just an outstanding team in all sports. The MAC is known for being champions in all sports, as everyone knows. One of the best conferences in the entire state. So they'll have to get through Marion Local and then possibly either Parkway or Fort Recovery. But I got Minster winning both of those games myself, and then after that, they got a tough regional semis. I like their matchup, but in the regional finals, they potentially could be facing possibly Lincoln View or Patrick Henry or Delphus St. John's. But I think it could be Minster versus Lincoln View in the regional finals, with the winner having a chance to get to Akron and hold up that trophy.
Good stuff, Dylan. All right, Pete.
Let's do it. Yeah, so first one for me as a lock, it's got to be the Grove City boys, got to be the Hounds. Like we kind of alluded to earlier with getting through the Central District and then through that Central region there. It's a team, it might come as a surprise, when you hear a guy like Lawlers going through a little bit of an arm issue. Only a team like Grove City could lose their number 2 and still have me pick them as a lock to get to Canal Park, right? And it's kind of what Dylan alluded to with Russia. They know how to win ball games. You can't tell me, and Kyle was there in person in the dugout. Dylan was there as well. That was a tournament style game against Mason. They found a way to win it. That's how they play baseball in tournament style games, tournament atmosphere games. So that's essentially, the culture's there to make a run to Canal. So that's where we went in D1. I, like Dylan, shied away from D2, got awful, got scared there. I'll fully admit it. There's so many good teams in Division II right now. It's almost scary. Division III too. Going back to Central Ohio with this one, Marengo Highland. They were a little too highly ranked for my dark horse, but I love it. A team that competed at the Division II last year level for a district title. And now to be in Division III, I think really helps them, man. They got a ton of dudes, ton of high-level guys that play high-level summer ball, which I always say translates, to tournament play. They've seen the high-level arms. They've played in tournament style. I really think that's a benefit for those guys. And then Division IV, Berlin Highland. We've had family ties there. They're there, it feels like, every year. They used to – my dad has a buddy that's from up there, and every year they'd come down for June for a weekend because you knew Berlin Highland was in the Final Four. It's just how it went. So that's kind of my Division IV pick there. And like Dylan said, the winner of them in Toronto tonight, you could almost be interchangeable, in that. But yeah, those are my picks for locks.
I'm hoping in a couple weeks to see more green in my column than I did today.
Yeah,
and I don't know.
I'm sorry, you can go.
I was thinking about what we should do next week, and I think just based on like the pace that we're going, we might have to do like one pick to win state.
Might have to.
Who's your one pick? So get ready for that one. Pretty cool segment, guys. Good rundowns. We'll see how many of these teams make it, and I'm looking forward to watching it.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said earlier too, I mean, it's still anybody's game, and to be quite honest, if you're a team that I picked, best of luck, because as I've alluded to, if it's anything like my bracket, good luck in March Madness. So if we didn't pick you, by all means, don't think you probably have a better shot now. So keep it going.
Just a couple of housekeeping items before we sign off for the night. Rankings updates are coming out. We're going to update the 2025 class on May 22nd. That's Wednesday. The 2026 class is going to get updated on May 29th, and the 2027 class will get updated on June 5th. We will also be going back and tweaking the 2024s at some point after the season. I don't have an exact date on that one, but go ahead and mark your calendars: May 22nd, May 29th, June 5th. A couple other items. TPG Northern Ohio TPG trials are coming up on May 29th. We're doing that at Kent State. And then we've got the Southern Ohio TPG trials on June 3rd. I believe that got moved. Don't quote me on that.
Location-wise?
Yeah. Is it still at UC on the website, Dylan?
Yeah, it's UC on the website right now.
All right. Well, then it's at UC. And I got nothing else. You guys got anything?
I got something really quick. With the season being over for a handful of teams, and then the rest of the teams still in tournament, I wanted to make sure to let everyone know to make sure you let your coach know to get all of your end of the year season stats into me for all state nominations. I have an extensive list that I put together every year. Been doing it for many years. But the only chance that you have to get on first or second team is if I have your stats. So make sure you let your coach know when your season is completely done, no more games left to be played, tournament over. Make sure your coach knows to send me his stats, or send me your guys' stats. Your coach should have a link to where to send this all. If he does not have a link, my email is easily found online. It's just my last name. You can see it on the board right there at prepbaseball.com. So you can email me with any information for all state. But again, this is an extensive list. I always want to give a shout out to as many kids as I can through the honorable mentions and all that. But when it comes to first and second teams, I have got to have your stats to be able to be nominated for first and second team. And years down the line, right now you might not think much of it, but years down the line, knowing that you were first team by us, it probably should mean a good amount to you guys. So hopefully you guys let your coaches know, and hopefully coaches get me all your stuff so I can give your team, give your players, give your community as much love as I can. So thanks for all the help this spring, and look forward to many more years of fun times during the spring with you guys.
Sweet. Guys, best of luck to everybody this week.
Keep it rolling.
Seniors, make it count.
Yep.
Yes, sir. Best of luck, everyone.
All right, guys. See ya.